And hey, we have a special guest too. Steve, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, wow, Steve from Feast on the Fallen.
That's Steve.
Yeah,
What's
how's
going
it
on, guys?
man? Chris Peters here. I'm Kareem's bro and business partner. I've heard a lot about you as well, and your band, your Hate Monger EP is quite decent. So, actually, something new that I enjoy, which is pretty rare, you know. So,
All right.
yeah, good to have you with us, Steve.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it's good to meet you.
Yeah. So tonight we're just talking about generosity and prosperity, and something I wanted to touch on that Kevin was saying is the things you're outlining, Kevin, are the natural laws of the universe. There's the law of attraction, the law of retribution, the law of sacrifice, the law of least resistance, the law of compensation, the law of sacrifice. Did I say that one already?
Yes.
There's a few that I've forgotten, but Bob Proctor talks about it a lot, and it all starts with studying people like Napoleon Hill, William Atkinson, who wrote Thought Vibration, Deepak Chopra, who wrote The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. This book here, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. The more that you read things of this nature that cause you to grow and challenge yourself to grow, your mind opens up to success. The universe opens itself to you and listens to you. And I find that to be so true with what we're doing and with what I'm doing, and the study of myself is never ending. And Mr. Bob Proctor is a really, really big influence on me, and he was given Think and Grow Rich by, in 1961, he was given that book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, by his mentor. And he was only earning $4,000 a year at that point. He was working menial jobs. He was in poverty for quite a while. And he's been studying these laws of the universe for 54 years. And he's 81 years old, and now he has a company that earns millions of dollars. So anybody who follows the natural laws of the universe and reads these kinds of books and puts the applications of these exercises to use and does what these books instruct you to do, you can't help but evolve that consciousness. That consciousness will evolve inside of you. And what I've learned from it is the possibility of my own potential, and that I can achieve anything that I set my heart and my mind to. And as long as I'm studying the material that I need to study and evolving, it's going to happen for us. So, but with that naturally comes giving. I mean, when you want to help change the world and you want to become successful, you have to give. There is no way around it. It's the law of cause and effect. You just think of it as an apothecary scale with two bowls on chains. One's marked contribution, the other is marked rewards. So the more you put into the bowl marked contribution, the rewards take care of themselves. So giving is a natural part of success. So if you want to make a difference, you have to help people. If you want to
it's like you're saying.
you have to help people.
Bravo, Chris. Congratulations, Grasshopper. You've come a long way, you know.
Yeah, well, that's because I like to read.
Well, you practice what you're reading.
I am.
That's from a mother's point of view. That's worth a lot. You know, it's just not you're mouthing the words, you're living it, and
you have to.
That's so encouraging.
Thank you. Yep.
We're all proud of our boy, Chris.
What'd you say, Doug?
I said we're all proud of our young man, Chris.
Oh, amen. Amen. He's come a long way.
Sorry, Francis.
But, you know, back from when I used to be the secretary of Earl Nightingale.
Oh, I'm so
Earl likened
jealous.
Giving and receiving in, I guess, layman terms. He said, look at your giving and receiving much like you would a bank account. That if you don't put something into the reserve to start with, you're not going to have anything to draw from.
Nope.
So look at your giving and receiving like a bank account. And when you give a gift, look at it as it's a gift. You don't take back gifts. When you think of everything in the blessings that the Lord gives us daily. I mean, you woke up this morning, you were breathing, the sun was shining, or at least you had the start of a new day. He doesn't take it back.
No.
And say, you can't have the start of this day. You know, you make out of it in faith with every day you get and share the Lord with them, and it will come back to you tenfold.
Yep, absolutely.
And the Lord's blessings are never, never late.
No.
And they're always in exact proportion to what you need and what you give.
It's a life of service. That's the way I look at it. Being here is
It's a
one
life
way
of
service.
service.
That's what Albert Einstein said. He said, man is on earth for the benefit of other men.
Yes.
And
That's why Kevin was helping other people. He was feeding people. He didn't have to do that.
no,
That's why we're here today trying to serve everybody. And in turn, when we serve them, they come back and serve us. That's
That's
a
right.
perfect example of giving and receiving.
cause and effect.
No matter what faith you are. And definitely we can look at this in an interesting perspective of saying that I'm here giving everything I can right at this moment. And so is Kevin.
Yeah.
And when we give like the loaves and the fishes, we start to benefit mankind, and we look for a deeper meaning than just trying to live for oneself, just being in the R complex, saying, I have to get it all for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when we can start to find God, by loving the neighbor as ourselves.
Yeah.
Am I right, Mr. Kevin and Mr. Steve?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'd like to touch on something Kevin said earlier. I'm not quoting exactly here, but paraphrasing. He was talking about kind of like an innate knowledge of generosity and giving. I think all of us, you notice anytime there's a major disaster, the first thing that happens is everybody flows in and tries to help.
Absolutely.
And it's even in the midst of, what seems to be the most selfish times that we've ever lived in, I think, especially in America, whenever there's a need, the generosity of Americans in general just comes flowing out. And whether it's here or across the world, doesn't matter. And I think that's because, from those of us that believe in a creator, that's because we all have a piece of that in our makeup. And you don't have to be told what's right and wrong. It comes up naturally. But one of the things that I see happening, and it bothers me a lot, is that where charity is, it's people, how you say it? People are trying to force charity on others. And it's, like government saying, oh, we have to give this much money to poor people and this, that kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with it. The intention is good. The problem is that it completely destroys charity. Because if you don't have it in your heart to give, it's no longer charity. That's why it has to be on an individual basis. And that's why each of us has to look around us and say, where can I help personally?
I think you're talking about the government saying we have to help this group of people or that group of people, and the money will be taken from taxes or
right, or anything like that in general, where people are dictated to help others.
Yeah, it does kind of negate the word charity.
Absolutely. And the other thing is we're talking money in that case, but remember too that generosity isn't always money.
No.
Charity isn't always money. I guarantee you, if you come across somebody that's having a rough day, one word of kindness can make that first person feel richer than, Bill Gates. Because when they're needed, the smallest little things can mean more than all the money in the world.
Yep.
And if we remember that, they always say, look at the world or see people as Jesus sees them. That's because he doesn't look at what they have or anything about them other than that they're one of his children, and they deserve the same.
Being an entrepreneur, I'm sorry, Doug. Go ahead. I don't mean to interrupt.
Not a problem. Go ahead, Fran.
I was going to say one of the simplest things I did as a entrepreneur, I went to a toll bridge locally, and I said, here's $200. I want you to just give my flyer out to everybody that comes in until this $200, and I think it was like 25-cent toll. Out of that one toll, I had reached a $10,000 deficit.
Oh.
When I first started networking, and I managed in 1 year to get myself out of $10,000 of personal debt because those people just they called me and they said, you paid my toll. And I said yes, and I would like to extend another opportunity to you. Just take a look at this. Well, I went from just a marketing executive with this company to a director 3 in less than 6 months. So it came back to me in not tenfold, but more than tenfold.
That's awesome.